what's up you guys, this is DarthZadyBun here for ZHM Entertainment, and I'm here today at the Project Mayhem showroom having a look at this amazing statue. Now this is the Marvel Now Venom ArtFX Plus figure. It is the last figure in this line by Kotobukiya. So it is, I think the 7th figure. Yes, the 7th figure in this range, and I have to tell you, it is without a doubt the one that I've been looking forward to the most. So let's get this thing opened up and we'll have a look at it, and then we'll talk about the aesthetics and the Ishay Factor thereafter. Alrighty then, boys and girls. So here we have the figure out of packaging, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot that's included in the packaging. So what you have is the two hands, the head, the overall figure body, and of course the base. Now I'm just going to assemble this very quickly. What I like is that everything snaps in very easily. There's not a whole lot that you need to do in terms of that. No glue or anything necessary. I think that's the highlight of these ArtFX Plus snap-fit figures. Yeah. So let's see. There we go. Simple, straightforward, no mess, no fuss, absolutely no drama. I'm very happy with it. Wow, like first impressions, this thing is just freaking amazing, but we're going to take it step by step in just a bit. But first, let's talk about the base. Yes, the base is the only included accessory, and as you can see from the still here, it is pretty much the same as we've seen with the other figures in this line, just the character's sort of face insignia. Okay, so now when I've reviewed previous figures in this line, I have complained about the base paintwork and how it sort of like gets scratched and damaged. So let me show you, right? The figures have these magnets and they work very nicely. Just don't drag the figure, because like it sort of gets scratched over there. With the Spider-Man one especially, we saw that. The other figures in the line didn't really have that problem, but again, just place it on, you're not going to have any problem. Okay, so very quickly, before I go into the discussion of the actual figure itself, I do want to just do this very quick size comparison. Now, as you can see, I've got the Venom here next to the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man was the first release in this line, and when I did my Spider-Man video, I spoke about how I was waiting to see how the Venom compares size-wise, and I'm so thrilled with what these guys were able to do. I mean, this Venom, look at it, freaking dwarf Spider-Man, just the way it should be. So yeah, wow, kudos to Kotobukiya for really nailing it. As you can see, Venom on the side of here compared to Spider-Man. Shame, man, the Spider-Man, he's like so scrawny. Venom is like, yo bro, do you even lift, all day, every day? That's a terrible joke. Okay, you know what, let's get serious over here, right? Okay, so let's move Spider-Man away and let's turn our attention to Venom in totality. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into our discussion of both the aesthetics and the Ishay Factor. So for those of you who are new to the channel, you may not follow the terminology. When I say the aesthetics, I refer to the overall visual appeal of the figure itself. In other words, what does it do for your display as a whole? Now, when you look at this figure over here, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the paintwork firstly, and then we're going to move on to the sculpt. Now, as far as the paintwork is concerned, this is a particularly tricky one because it's primarily a very, how can I say, black on black kind of figure. The vast majority of the figure is in black, is painted black, so it's not going to be easy to see, shading. However, what Kotobukiya was able to do was do a fair amount of, shall I say, highlighting. So what they've done is they have like a matte black paint primarily, and then it's interspersed with some gloss paint as well as some light blue highlights and some gray highlights as well. May not seem like much at first glance, but when you tie it all together, what it sort of does, to my eye at least, it sort of creates at this like almost fluidy kind of liquid look to the symbiote itself, and add that to the pseudopodia. I'm going to talk about that a bit more just now, but it looks really kick-ass. Now I'm just trying to focus over here on the hand. Can you see? Okay, wait, how's that? Yeah, okay, yeah. See over here these veins. Okay, now this is the kind of fine detail sculpting we have. So when you're talking about the sculpting, you can't bypass that. I mean, you look at the arms, the veins, the muscles, and of course, the main part, the head sculpt. Now, no discussion on a Venom figure can be complete without talking about the head sculpt. Now, what I really like about this over here is that it's so well done. It's so detailed. there's so much that went into such a small surface area. The likeness is just amazing. I mean, it looks like the classic Venom meets modern Venom. Everything's on point. You turn to the side over here. If you look really, really closely, can you see? Yes, the teeth. Right now, each fang or each tooth is individually sculpted. It's just amazing. And that tongue, it's this long ass, like really. I don't know, like really, really flowy tongue, and it even has like little what do you call them, like taste buds on the tongue itself. So very, very happy overall with the head sculpt and how that turned out. It could not have been better. It really couldn't. Though, actually, to be fair, what I would have liked to see would have been another head sculpt, like an alternate head sculpt. But I guess that might be a bit too much to ask for, given the price point of this figure. So yeah, overall, very, very happy with it. It looks amazing. Seriously, if you haven't been swayed over by now, then there's not a whole lot more that I can say to you. But I'm gonna try anyway. Aside from the sculpted details, I just want to talk about the overall build of the statue. Now, what you see is Venom in this sort of like crouched over, almost like running crawl kind of pose. It's such a mighty pose. It's such a creepy, scary kind of pose. It's like it sort of suggests sinister intent. Yes, I think that's the best way of explaining. It suggests sinister intent. So yeah, aesthetically, at the very least, this statue nails it. I'm so impressed by it, so happy with the way it turned out. Honestly speaking, I don't think you'd get too many Venom figures that are better than this within that price range. And I don't want to preempt my discussion over there, but I think at that point, let's close it on the aesthetics and start discussing the Ishay Factor. So, for those of you who don't know, the Ishay Factor is a generic standard that we use to assess the degree to which a figure makes you go ish with excitement or ish with disappointment. Now, with this figure over here, let's take it by the numbers. What do we have? Here we have a brilliantly designed Venom figure. It is a figure that showcases the character in a very dynamic pose, a very powerful pose, and it really communicates, or rather brings to life what one would expect from the character. I mean, it's bold, it's big, it's just a really, really impressive figure overall. We were talking a lot about the fine, subtle detail. I mean, we spent some time talking about the head sculpt. We spoke about the way the lighting sort of bounces off the paint because the choice of paintwork. I mean, just just looking at it, how can you go wrong, really speaking? Like I said, from that head sculpt with those, I mean, it has bloody, what do you call it, taste buds on the tongue, for crying out loud. It's just such a well-made figure. And then, of course, the price point. Now, here's the thing. With a character like Venom, you don't often get them, merchandise for this character, curiously enough. But when you do, and on the rare occasion that you do, rather, you find that it's so goddamn expensive, most of us can't afford it at all. But here you have Kotobukiya releasing a brilliantly made figure, an affordable price range. So that it basically comes within that golden triangle, So for me, at least, I have to say that this figure elicits a resounding ish with excitement, and I would strongly suggest that you go out and get it. If you haven't, then get on with that right away before it disappears. So here we are at the end of the line. Well, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and be sure to keep in touch with me on all my social media platforms. I hope to hear from you soon. Ciao!